Quala coming back at you with another lesson, giving all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Chakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, to rule and teach well. Peace, salutation to the elect 144 first fruit. All right, so this lesson I'm gonna name it: Are you teaching, or are you teaching, or are you venting? All right, and we're gonna get into, I guess, the difference or what you should be doing. Obviously, you know the answer to that. You should just be teaching. Venting, you start getting into your feelings, okay? But let me say this. Let me say this too. There are forms and ways to where you can vent. All right. Matter of fact, let me look something up in the Google. All right, the word ventilation, it says the provision of fresh air to a room, building, etc. It says a public discussion or examination of opinion, issue, or complaint. All right, so as you see on the right hand side, it says breathing. It says breathing is a purpose of moving air into and from the lungs to facilitate gas exchange with the internal environment. So the reason I bring out ventilation is through the spirit, sometimes you have to give yourself fresh air. Okay? We live in a toxic society. It's true. It's very true. All right? And sometimes you have to get ventilation through that. And you can vent in a healthy manner. You know, you could talk to a bro. Shit, I'll keep it a buck. All right? Usually venting involves a little bit of drama. You know who loves drama? Women. Talk to your rib. All right. I'm not saying in the sense of gossiping. We're going to get into that later. That's what you call toxic venting. You want to avoid that. But you may just want to get something off your chest. You just need someone to listen, not really say much. That's okay. But when it comes to you doing the lesson or being the highways and byways, is venting something that you should be doing, or you just should be teaching? You should just be teaching. Venting requires an enormous amount of feelings to be involved. And what we teach is the truth. And the truth, Amath, is math. In math, it is what it is, or is what it isn't. It's the same thing. Math and history are one and alike. History, like I said, math, it is what it is, or it is what it isn't. 1 + 1 is 2. It is what it is. All right? And it isn't 3. Okay? With history, it either happened or it didn't. So we're just speaking facts on things that actually happened. We're speaking equations in the spirit, and that come out to the actual solution, if you see what I'm saying. We're not speaking about history or how we feel it should have went. No, we can't do that because it would be false. It went how it went. That's what you speak on. So when it comes to teaching, you speak facts. You don't vent. There's no ventilation in that. There's just is what it is. And how you feel about that is disregarded. Even how the one teaching it feels about it is disregarded. And even if you are teaching it and you have some type of feeling about it, meaning usually if you have a feeling about something, you're adverse to it, then why are you teaching it? You see what I'm saying? Or you may not have an understanding about it. That's why when you teach what you know. You don't step outside that realm. If you don't know it, the next brother, with a head, with more knowledge, he'll teach it so you can comprehend it and so others can comprehend. But there's no feelings involved in it. It just is what it is. But it is good to vent sometimes. Now, we're going to get into toxic venting, and then I'm going to get some scripts. So here's the word vent, but I want to go to the noun. Specifically, the first word there, anus. and that's an asshole. So if you're out there teaching, quote unquote, yes, I said quote unquote teaching because I'm referring this to venting. If you're out there venting, you're being a complete asshole and you're making an ass of yourself. Because when someone vents, more than likely it's just opinions. And we understand what the scriptures say about opinions. They're vain. They don't really matter. Okay? When you teach the facts. You teach what it is. And you teach the Bible because the Bible are the facts. And you lay it out. You bring understanding to it. When you bring the understanding, your understanding are backed by precepts. Okay? Simple. The scriptures say, here a little and there a little. So you can bring the understanding. And if you want to pull out some more facts that may not be in the Bible, you pull out articles, numbers, percentages. These are facts that can't be refuted. And if someone refutes them, it's because they feel a certain type of way. We don't teach with feelings, okay? We teach with truth. Simple. So are you teaching or are you venting? If you're venting on your lessons, if you're venting on the highways and byways, you're being an anus. You're being an asshole. Okay? I'm keep it a buck. All right? So let's get the word teach. All right? The word teach is to show, point out, declare, and demonstrate. If someone comes and says, hey, I need my tire changed. Can you show me how to change my tire? What are you going to do? You're gonna demonstrate or point out the facts and the steps on how to change a tire. If someone comes and say, hey, I got a flat tire and it's clearly flat with 0 PSI in the tire, what are you gonna do? I feel like your tire isn't flat. Well, that's not a fact. And your feeling is gonna be disregarded, and what you feel is gonna piss the other individual off because the fact of the matter is the tire is flat. You see what I'm saying? You're going to deal with the facts and you're going to teach that individual how to change the tire for future circumstances if it so comes again. You're going to demonstrate on how to show it. This is 2 Timothy chapter 2 and 24. And the servant of the Lord must not strive, which means fight or contention. Striving means to fight or be contentious. Usually when there's fightings or strivings, it means there's a disagreement between what? More than likely opinions. Or another one is if someone's stating a fact and the other party knows it's a fact but feels like it's wrong. And then there's a strife. You see what I'm saying? 1 + 1 is 2. Well, I don't feel like it should be 2. Well, it is, so I don't know what you're talking about. Well, that's good. And then there comes the contention. Because one side of the party doesn't understand. It doesn't understand. Look, let me say this. Doesn't understand what not understanding is. When you don't understand something, I'm going to say this. It kind of seems like I'm not making sense, but let me break down what I said. When you understand that you're not understand something, you have to implement patience because maybe you're not understanding at the moment, but the Lord will open it to you later on. Therefore, if you implement the patience when you're not understanding, you're avoiding catching demons or being upset. There's plenty of dudes who fell out the truth because they didn't understand something and they wanted to get it in haste. Therefore, they fall out and their opinion is against the doctrine. When all they had to do was be patient and wait for it to be revealed. It could be a week, a day, it could be 2 years before you understand something. You see what I'm saying? But you have to be patient and you have to let your spirit be open to receive. Maybe your spirit was shut and closed and the Lord saw that and he's like, he's not going to receive it yet. And when I open the spirit, put him through a little few things, and his spirit, it's kind of like boxing. You hit the body to open up. If you hit the body, you're gonna open up other avenues to to you could possibly a knockout. Okay, what they call hitting the body in boxing is wearing the opponent down. The Lord gonna wear you down until you open up so you can receive. Okay, simple. All right, so it says, "And the servant of the Lord must not strive." And what strive usually comes with vain opinions or feelings involved when contention hits. When facts are stated and both parties understand it's a fact and agree on the facts, there's no fightings. And here's another thing, because sometimes facts, we're in the flesh. Sometimes facts can make you feel a certain way, but if you're spiritual enough to overcome the flesh, you're gonna receive it. You see what I'm saying? You're gonna suppress your feelings. So it says, "But be gentle unto all men," right? Be gentle unto all men, apt to teach. All right, apt to teach. And when it comes to teaching, you're declaring something, you're pointing something out, and you're showing something. All right, let's go back to that word teach. It says also to give instruction, to train, assign, direct, warn, persuade. Hey, that stove is hot. It will behoove you not to put your finger on that. You persuaded and warned at the same time. How did you persuade? You persuaded with the consequence of putting your finger, or you say, "Hey, that thing is hot. Don't put your finger on it. You'll burn your skin off." So what you said is a warning, a direct warning, and you use persuasion. How did I use persuasion in that? Teaching. I just taught someone not to put their hand on the stove or their finger on the stove. I directed them not to put their finger on the stove. I warned them about how the stove is hot, and I persuaded them, if you do put your finger on the hot stove, you will burn your finger off. The scriptures talk about persuading with fear. Okay? That is what you call teaching. But all of what I said was facts. It wasn't how I feel about it. It wasn't me venting or did it. None of that. So that brings back to the point of the lesson. Are you venting or are you teaching? You got to think about this too. You have a page, you have a YouTube page that people watch. Okay? If most of your videos are just you saying what you feel, do you think everybody wants to hear that? The people who watch your videos wants to learn about the Bible. So teach what's in the Bible. Okay? This is Psalm chapter 139 and 23. It says, "Search me, O Yahweh, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts." So let's get this word "try" real quick. In the Hebrew, it's Bahan. Oh, hold on. It's like one moment. Give me one moment, Salaki. All right, Salaki. All right, back. All right, so in the Hebrew, that word there is Bahan, not Bahan, Bachan. All right, sometimes when you look at the Syrian Hebrew, the ha and the cha can look the same sometimes, but that's cha right there. This middle one, let me highlight it. That's cha. That's ba, and then cha, and that end one is non-final. There's two na's how you write it, but that's na final. So Bachan is the word try. And it says to examine, try, or prove. And it says to scrutinize. So here's this word examine in the etymology. It says put someone to question in regard to knowledge, competence, or skill, inquire into qualifications or capabilities. Okay? Or capabilities. So when this precept here in Psalm 39, it says, search me, O Yahweh, and know my heart. Try me. What is being said is examine me, inquire about my qualifications, question my capabilities and abilities. It says inspect or survey something carefully, scrutinize, view, or observe in all aspects with the purpose of forming a concrete opinion or judgment. All right. We're going to do a judgment because judgments are based off the facts of the matter. So when you're asking the Lord to try you and he sees you fit to, I guess, be promoted, or he sees you fit to be demoted, or he sees you fit to bless you, or he sees you fit that you need to go through some more stuff before you level up or something. You see what I'm saying? He's examining you. So when you start going through your situations, that's a form of him teaching you, okay? So when you get examined, usually a teacher will examine their students in the form of via a test, and by the way of the results, they can further see how they need to teach this specific kid or that specific kid, okay? So when you're being tried, it's an examination process, and then they get the results of the fact of who or what you are, your capabilities or your knowledge or your extent of knowledge or whatever, and then they know further how to teach you. It's not okay, I'm examining you and I get your result back. Well, I feel like, no, this is where you stand. This is where I need to start. And this is how I need to instruct you. Simple, because we have the facts of the matter. So it's the same thing here. All right. It says, and know my thoughts. Exactly. Know my thoughts, verse 24, and see if there be any wicked way in me, and lead me in the way of everlasting. Exactly. So your thoughts have to be checked too. If you're teaching or if you're venting. All right. If your thoughts are centered around the Lord, then your thoughts are centered around teaching and facts of the matter, and that's what you're going to portray, and that's what you're gonna give. Here's this word train. It says to discipline, teach, bring to a desired state by means of instruction. So the word train is literally technically the same as teaching. When you're teaching someone, you're training someone on how to be or what to do by the facts that you have conglomerated up to come up with this teaching method that you're giving your pupil, your student, or whatever, okay? A teacher just doesn't sit here and vent. Hey, well, I think you should know that. No, here's what the deal is. 1 and 1. When you take if you have one apple and you have another apple and you put them together, how many apples do you have? You have 2 apples, okay? That's what I'm teaching you. It's a fact, okay? Simple and plain as that. All right, so let me get into this article. It says, how to avoid toxic venting. I'm going to read this part right here. It says, though it feels good to vent in the moment, toxic venting creates significant anger and resentment that is unhealthy for you and your relationships. So that goes back to what we were talking about in 2 Timothy chapter 2 and 24, where it says, and the servant of the Lord must not strive. Toxic venting creates a toxic environment, which includes contention, strifes, and fightings, which a servant of the Lord must not strive. So therefore, if you're striving, it's more than likely because you're venting or you're having feelings about something that in turn are really opinions and don't really have that much weight behind it. You see what I'm saying? Okay, now I'm not sitting here saying that you can't state an opinion. Here's a saying, here's a saying, everyone's entitled to their own opinions, okay? Everyone's entitled to their own opinions, okay? So if someone has an opinion, you just take it with a grain of salt. Don't get offensive about it. It doesn't really matter because you know the facts, all right? So going back here, well, matter of fact, that kind of reminds me, if I can find it, let me see if I can find it first. I may be in the wrong one. Hold on, let me get my physical Bible. I may can find it better in there. If I can't find it, I'm gonna move forward. I don't want to hold up too much. Okay, I think it's. Bear with me 1 second here. Okay, yeah, that's right. I was wrong. Call out Yahweh, so I found it. All right, 1 Corinthians 8. It says 8 and 4. It says, as concerning, therefore, the eating of those things that are offered in sacrifice unto idols, we know that an idol is nothing in the world, and there is none other power but one. All right. So the reason I'm bringing this out, usually, we bring this out around Thanksgiving and Christmas time and things of that nature because your family, Jake, be having a zeal, but not according to knowledge. All right. The zeal for the Heavenly Father, but not according to knowledge, which is to their own destruction, to be honest. But they'll celebrate the Thanksgiving and stuff knowing that it's incorrect. And you may end up being over there to get a plate. Now, we know that this is off, but their opinion has them conducting in the act of it. But we know the facts. We're just getting played. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I mean with, when someone says you're entitled to their own opinion. Yes, they are. But doesn't mean it's going to affect me in any type of way. Another good scripture to bring out when it start dealing with opinions is Romans chapter 3 and 3. Another classic says, for what if some did not believe? Well, it's your opinion not to believe the facts that I'm stating on why Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is real. Okay? And what's happening in the world is real according to the scripts. All right? Shall their unbelief make the faith of the Most High without effect? So is your opinion on not, because it's an opinion for someone to not believe in something that's a fact. It's their opinion. And okay, cool. If you don't believe 1 + 1 is 2, all right, cool. That's your opinion. But the fact of the matter, it is. It says, God forbid, meaning, look, so their unbelief make the faith of the Most High without effect, God forbid, meaning, no, hell no. It says, yeah, let the Most High be true, or let the Most High be factual, because he's all about facts, because he's a judge. When you're in court, the judge sees all the witnesses, gets all the facts, gets all the evidence, and makes a judgment off the facts that have been presented by the plaintiff and the defendant, okay? But every man a liar, right? Because we understand what the scriptures say, the wisdom of this world is foolishness, okay? Which the wisdom of this world, a lot of it is based off opinion. It says, as it is written, that thou mightest be justified in thy sayings. And it says that you might be justified in the sayings. So if you're teaching, you teach the Bible, the words of the Bible. The words of the Bible are the Most High's words, which the Most High is perfect. Okay, so therefore, if you're speaking his words, you're speaking in perfection and you're speaking facts, and that's what you teach. Simple. You don't teach what you think or what you feel, or you don't sit there and vent. You teach what the facts of the matter is. It says, that thou mightest be justified in the sayings and mightest overcome when thou art judged. Simple. Okay. I'm going to read one more little paragraph from this. It says, what is toxic venting? Toxic venting feels like an attack on someone's character. Right. So an attack on someone's character. Usually someone attacks someone else's character when they're losing an argument. All right. Prime example. If you're arguing with a woman, which you shouldn't be doing, if you're arguing with a woman, as a man, you shouldn't be arguing with a woman. All right. If you're arguing with a woman, and again, don't argue. I have to say that plenty of times. Don't argue with a woman. You're not going to get anywhere. But if you're arguing with a woman and you're quote unquote winning the argument, what do you think the woman is going to start doing? Insulting you, calling you a dick, or demeaning your character as a man, calling you a pussy, and shit like that. You know how women like to pinpoint and provoke people. A little off topic, I saw a little article or a little post about this dude who plays for the Hornets, Bridges or whatever. He was on the verge of $100 million contract with the Hornets, but he just got caught on some domestic violence charges. I was reading the comments, and it's nothing but women talking about he deserves it, da, 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 da. But really, in the fact of the matter is, let me say this. If there's fucked up ass men out there, let me say that just are mad at the world, go home and beat the hell out of their wives. That's unacceptable. Okay? It really is unacceptable. All right? But then you have women out there, which is the majority of the cases. And I think his wife had put, of course made it public because she's a nigger woman. I'm going to keep it a buck and say that, because anything that goes in-house should stay in-house. That is between y'all two. It shouldn't be brought out to the public of what happened in-house. Okay? So she put out all on the social media her injuries from him putting his hands on her. And me personally, I'm entitled to my own opinion. When I saw the videos, or not the videos, when I saw the pictures of her, she didn't look that beat up. She had like a scratch or two on her face. It looked like she had redness on her hand. That is about it. Not even a bruise, not even blood or anything on her hand. It just looked like some redness. Shit. She could have hit her hand on the fucking wall for all I know. We don't know what happened in that household, but she wants to depict it like he's such a beast in the household and things of that nature, right? But what I'm getting at is usually the woman provokes a man to put his hands on her. That is usually the case, all right? And I'm speaking off of experience. This is not feelings. This is actually just what happens, okay? I'm not saying or admitting that I've hit a woman. I'm just saying women provoke people in general. Women provoke women. Women provoke men. That is what they do. And why do they provoke? Because they vent via feelings. Feelings always get involved with a woman. That's why you should never argue with a woman. Because feelings will start getting involved, and she'll start insulting, she'll start throwing things, she'll start hitting you. And then women be surprised with domestic violence situations of why, you see that man? Maybe because she provoked him, or maybe she hit him, or maybe she threw something at him for him to defend himself and retaliate. All right? But if you're in any situations like that, just walk the fuck away. Just walk away. We're not in a society where the society leans towards the man. It's all about the woman. She has more power than you when it comes to that aspect. So just fall back. You should never be arguing with a woman. All right? Because they're not understanding creatures. And if anyone wants to at me on that or debate, I will pull out the scriptures in the book of Job and give you the facts of the matter, what the Lord says about women. Simple. Y'all lack understanding, and that's a fact. All right? So what is toxic venting? Toxic venting feels like an attack on someone's character. Whether you are the one venting or you're listening to someone else do it. Miscommunication makes the other person out to be the bad guy. This type of bad mouthing becomes an intense form of gossip, which AKA is murmuring. All right, usually people murmur behind someone's back or murmur to someone else in a form of toxic venting. Toxic venting is not good in the sight of the Lord. All right, simple and plain as that. Murmuring will get you dealt with. Murmuring will get you cast out the body. Murmuring will get you a visit from an angel. Now, I'm talking not a left-handed angel. Okay, simple and plain as that. So, are you teaching or are you venting? You have to ask yourself that. Bring out the facts, not your feelings. Simple. So, Lord willing, this was edifying. I want to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Ba'ashem Echakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, rule and teach well. Peace, love, salutation to the elect 144 first fruit. So, Brother Kashqua, until the next time, we'll say Shalom. Lord willing, I'll put this link in the description box below so you can, read through it. Some good stuff. Of course, extract what you need to extract. But like I always say, repent, for Yahweh Shai is coming back sooner than what we believe. And that's a fact. Until next time, Shalom.